Okay, hi boys and girls. As promised, I told you that I would do a YouTube video on what we discussed today on the Zoom. Since Mrs. Achirielli forgot to hit record, that would be operator error. But just to kind of review again, I wanted to go over those buzzwords. Remember, your first beatitude is blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And we talked about that poor in spirit means that you don't brag, you're not boastful, you are very humble, not proud. You do the right thing, selfless, meek, and you don't act as if you are perfect. You realize that you make mistakes. So it's saying that when you are acting in this way, when you are being poor in spirit, that it means you are living the way that Jesus and God would want you to live. To not be too proud, to not be too boastful, to not brag, and not act as if you're perfect. The second beatitude, blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. And we talked about the comfort word means that people that are going through sadness, that we should show them sympathy, empathy, compassion. I talked about empathy being putting yourself in their shoes, actually thinking about what it's like to be in their situation, to let them share with you if that's what they need to do, to assist them, to help them to feel better. And sometimes just making them feel safe is all that you need to do to show them comfort. So blessed are they who mourn, because comfort shall be given to them. The third beatitude, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Sometimes I said meek has a negative connotation, meaning it doesn't have a good meaning to it. But in this instance, it's saying that meek means that you are mature, that you have self-control, that you're patient and kind, gentle and peaceful. And we talked about that compliant doesn't mean that you just do anything that you're told, but you are compliant, you follow the rules when those rules are keeping everyone safe. So meek, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. And then the next one is blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. And we talked about that righteousness word. Also, you have justice, means you follow God's way. Synergize means you work with others. You're fair and you're understanding. So when you want righteousness for everyone, that will be satisfied when you seek to get righteousness for all. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Merciful, some buzzwords that go along with that means to not judge people, to forgive them, to don't hold a grudge once you have forgiven someone, and give someone a second chance. Remember, God always extends mercy to us, and we have to give that same mercy to others. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. And so you hear clean of heart, pure of heart, means they're unselfish, they're Christ-like, you do what is right, you put God first, you're very generous, not jealous of what others have, you try not to sin. We all know we're all going to sin, but you don't do it intentionally. And you think, what would Jesus do? That would be clean of heart, that you're always trying to think about doing things the right way, the way that God would want you to do them. And then blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Peacemakers are people that treat others how they want to be treated. They don't argue. They stay kind and calm. They help others. They're patient. They stop violence. They're nonviolent. And when they admit when they're wrong, they listen to others, and they're understanding. And I said we have a lot of peacemakers already in our classroom, and I always tell you to be the peace in your house. Courageous. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. These people are courageous. They are brave. They stand up for what is wrong, to what is wrong. They're confident. They follow their convictions even when maybe it's not the cool thing to do. They do the right thing, and they're a loyal person, either a loyal family member or a loyal friend. So that just kind of gives you some information again on those 8 Beatitudes and some buzzwords that may help you. Now, we also talked about, remember, you have the 2 choices for your Beatitudes project. It is due May the 15th. One choice is a PowerPoint presentation. It should be 9 slides, and that gives you the information there and the directions of what should be included in each one. And this has to be emailed to me. And the second is a Beatitude book. These should just be regular size pieces of paper, either white copy paper or construction paper. You can handwrite it or you can type it, and it as well should be 9 pages. Still including the same thing, but this one we ask that it's not emailed to us. It must, so we can see all the beautiful colors and all of that, it must be dropped off on the May the 15th, May 16th drop off. It cannot be emailed. We want to receive that original work. Okay. So as always, if there are any questions, make sure that you send me an email. I do have the Beatitude project directions and the Beatitudes rubric on RenWeb as well. I attached it that first day on Monday, but it is also on RenWeb. If you've lost your copy or need another copy, it will be there for you. Okay. I would be doing at least one Beatitude per day. Probably today is Wednesday. I would be doing my cover page today and maybe the first Beatitude. Then Thursday, do the second Beatitude. Friday, do the third Beatitude. Do a fourth Beatitude this weekend. And then next week it's smooth sailing. You just need to do 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you'll be finished just in time. All right, you all have a great afternoon.